All right, Nick, let's talk about the Houston Texans. Probably one of the busiest teams in free agency so far to start off the free agency period. They've been making moves left and right, and all signs point that they are trying to shore up all sides of the ball when they're in pursuit of a quarterback at this number 2 overall pick. But we have another good signing today that I think the Texans fans are going to be very excited about.
Yeah, Myers, I agree with you 100%. But before we get into that, Texans fans, as always, we want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. We've talked a lot about this offseason, about a lot of guys that the Texans are bringing into the fold. But we want to hear from you about one guy who left the Texans that you really wish didn't leave the Texans. Whether he was a cap casualty or, got to the end of his career, or they just got to, had to trade him for whatever reason. Let us know what Houston Texans that left the team that you really wish didn't. There's a lot of great options out there. Really curious to see what you guys have to hear, and let us know in the comment section below. All right, Miles, what you got? What's the latest out of Houston?
Yeah, Nick, we're talking about guys that left, but a guy that did not leave is none other than star left tackle Laremy Tunsil has inked another deal with the Texans, giving him a 3-year extension, $75 million. That is crazy, Nick. $50 million fully guaranteed, $60 million in total guarantees. So $30 million signing bonus. He is getting some serious cash, and it seems as he is going to make himself once again the highest paid offensive tackle in the NFL. I think it was a great signing, Nick. I think Tunsil has been stellar, 80 PFF grade per last season. So unbelievable player. He deserves to be one of the highest paid tackles in the NFL. I think that the Texans actually got a steal here and another great player for potentially a young quarterback. You want to protect that blind side, and there's no one better to do it. What do you think of the Tunsil re-signing, Nick?
I think it's absolutely outstanding for two reasons, Mine. The first one is, of course, that bringing in the rookie quarterback, whether it's going to be Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, all signs point to be one of those guys at this point. You want to obviously give that rookie quarterback some sort of quality protection on the offensive line. You don't want a Joe Burrow situation in Cincinnati where you have Burrow, has a devastating knee injury. Fortunately, he came back early in his rookie year. You want to make sure that guy has sound protection, because when whoever the Texans get early in the draft, I think he's going to be a day one starter. They're going to want to treat him that way, just like the Bengals did with Burrow. And they want to make sure that he's healthy, upright, gets all those reps as they look to build their roster to the future. And that leads me to my second point. Look at the length of this deal, Mize. It's 3 years. We did a Houston Texans video about a week ago talking about all the other moves they made. How about their short term, their 2-year deals, 1-year deals, 3-year deals like this? It's all guaranteed and all focused on front loading the cap hit. So that way, when they bring in, whether it's young CJ Stroud or whoever's a young rookie quarterback, in year 2 and year 3 of that guy's tenure, they'll be able to spend big money in free agency to surround him with talent. And the proof is in the pudding with this latest signing. You brought up the point that it's a $75 million deal, over 3 years. Well, the first year of it, it's so front loaded, it's $35 million against the cap hit, Mize. The second year will be a little bit less than that, but still the majority of it will fall in the first 2 years. That means by year 3, they'll have a lot more cap space to unload with for all kinds of weapons. So you're talking receivers, running backs, other offensive linemen, tight end, maybe some defensive help. Whatever they're going to need, they're going to have the cap space to do it. Think Chicago Bears, how active they've been offseason. That's what the Houston Texans are planning for 2 years from now, maybe even next offseason, depending how it all shakes out. And that's the exact position you want to be when you have a rookie quarterback. So just to reiterate, great signing, keeping quality protection for this young guy who's going to be day one starter right out of the gate. And number 2, front loading the contract in such a way so that way they'll have plenty of cap space going to next offseason, the offseason beyond that, to surround that rookie quarterback with quality weapons. I think this is an outstanding job by the Texans.
Yeah, Nick. And if we go back through the free agency signings, you can tell they're really just loading up, preparing for this quarterback. If I'm a Texans fan, I'm getting really jacked up. You get the guard, Mason. You resign the center, Quessenberry, down year last year, but if he makes a return to form, he's a serviceable center. You obviously re-sign Laremy Tunsil, all-pro, all-world left tackle, going to be an extremely important part. Then they go and get the weapons. They get Robert Woods. They get Noah Brown. They get a good backup in Case Keenum. And recently traded Brandon Cooks, who by all reports didn't really want to be on the team anymore. There's a disagreement between him and the team. He was traded to Dallas for a 5th and a 6th rounder in 2024. So get a little extra draft capital this draft, kind of bolster your coffers, see if you can hit on somebody later on in the draft, maybe another offensive lineman, maybe defensive lineman, who knows. But it is looking like the Texans and Nick Caserio are coming out hot and really building this team in a way that reminds me very Chicago Bears-esque. The Bears went out, they got their guy, and slowly have been building up the players around them, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing from the Texans. I think they can see themselves in playoff contention in the next year or two.